I am where I am because of cancer research. I'm still here because of cancer research. Right. And the kind of cancer that I have used to be the most aggressive. And because of the cancer research that they put into HER2 positive cancer, it's now they have all sorts of tools in their toolbox to treat HER2 positive cancer because of it.
Welcome to episode 9 of In Our Wheelhouse podcast. We have a special guest today in honor of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, October. We have Janell Meier with us. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah.
Just really quickly, for October, it's National ESOP Month. We're employee owned, but we also wanted to do something for the ladies. So we have our pink valve stem caps that you see on the table there. They're $4 per package. We can put them on the vehicle for you. It just takes a couple of minutes, but we offer this at all of our locations, and then whatever we are able to get for donations, we send to the Sanford Edith Breast Cancer Foundation. So $4. Just some pink valve stem caps. We started this a few years ago, and each year it seems to be getting bigger and bigger. What I love about it is now we had the director on, and he was able to tell us like where the money is going to. So last year, I think it was a special chair that we were able to get. I think we raised over $6,000.
Wow.
Yeah, that's phenomenal. So like each year we want to get bigger and bigger. I will say though, that we get the bags and then we get the 4 valve caps. And then usually in the summertime, like when Sam and I are in meetings, we're just sitting there in the meeting and then we're packaging all these things. I think there was like 1,000 of them.
You
like 1,000 packages we'd put together.
Pack them all yourself?
2,500. Yeah. So it takes a little bit. And poor Sam this year, he kind of had to do all of it on his own, but
I have a daughter next year. She would probably love to do that for you.
Put her to work. Bring her on in. It saves us time.
She would love it.
But yeah, these have taken off, and it's pretty exciting to see. And then we have a gal in our Carrington store, Jess. She also gets hats made and
cool.
sells hats with these as well.
Oh,
and then
neat.
for the hats, I believe she keeps that more local to her area in Carrington, North Dakota. So
very cool.
Gotta appreciate the ladies that we have going on.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so the reason that we have you on, every year now we're working with the Sanford Center, and we wanted to bring somebody on that could give us a part of their story. So that's why we have Janell today. So Janell, let's just jump right in, right? So first, let's just tell us a little bit about you.
Yeah, I'm Janell Meier. I was originally diagnosed with breast cancer in 2009. So quite a while ago, but yeah, I am married, live here in Fargo, North Dakota, and have a 10-year-old daughter.
What's her name?
Her name's Brielle.
Brielle.
Yes.
We'll have to get like one of those desk plaques with Brielle on it. So then when she comes in to help package these valve caps, and just put her to work, send mom some pictures.
Yeah, there you go.
So you were diagnosed back in 2009. How old were you?
27 years old.
What was that experience like?
Oof. I had a biopsy and I thought, okay, this is done. Like literally went back to work. And
did you feel something? Like you
yes.
seemed okay.
Yep. I felt a lump myself. I had actually gone into the doctor like 9 months prior, and they just kind of blew it off. They're like, no, I don't think it's anything to worry about. You're too young. And then 9 months later at my annual checkup, my doctor was like, we should maybe get this checked out. They started with an ultrasound, and the tech there was like, no, I don't think we need to worry about this. We can wait 6 months and see if there's anything changing. And at that point, I really pushed like, well, why are we waiting? Like, I've already waited. And that radiologist was like, yeah, if you want, we can do a biopsy. He's like, I think it's maybe a 1% chance that it would be cancer, but if that would make you feel better, we can do it.
Yeah, that would make me feel better.
Yeah.
Yep. So I know that insurance can be a very big hot topic for people. With them being so lax about it and you having to advocate for yourself, did that affect anything like as far as price goes? Because you were asking for it, not them, essentially?
No. Okay. I don't remember anything at that point.
I suppose that
was necessarily. I mean, there's definitely been issues I've had with insurance, but at that point, I think there was enough evidence there that a biopsy was okay.
Justifiable.
Yeah. Okay. But he was like, no, you're too young. Again, same thing. So I had the biopsy, went back to work. My coworker and I literally like celebrated over lunch, like, biopsy's done. I can move on with my life now. And he's like, I'll call you with results, and the next day he called me when I was at work, and he's like, I hate to tell you, it is cancer. So from that point, it was like, okay. Like, I just remember walking out of the office and just like staring at my coworker, and I'm like, it's cancer. And just everything that goes through your mind at that point
at 27 years old.
27 years old. One of the first thoughts I had was, it was in November when I was diagnosed, and we had a trip planned for Mexico in February or January. And I was like, am I not going to be able to go to Mexico? Like, it was like, looking back now, it's really funny because it's like, that's how our minds work, I guess.
That's totally fair. I would have thought the same thing. Like, can I at least party before I go out? Like,
right. Yeah. So, from there, doctor called me back later on that afternoon to kind of give me more details. And he's like, you're probably going to have to, it's looking like you'll have to have chemo, surgery, radiation.
What stage were you at that point?
At that point, it was stage 2.
Okay.
Stage 2B.
And how many stages are there?
There's 4 stages.
4. I thought there was 5.
Yep. Yeah. So, we were about ready to like start a family at that point. So that was big on my mind too. Like, when I did get to meet with the doctors, that was my number one question. Like, is this going to affect my infertility or my fertility?
Yeah.
The chemotherapy. And so.
How long it went away, right? You went into remission. Is that the term? That happened, right? Back at the first stage.
Yeah. So when I was first diagnosed, I went through chemotherapy, multiple surgeries, and radiation. And then it was about 5.5 years before my cancer returned.
How long did it take to get rid of it the first time?
It was over a year of chemotherapy,
all of that,
toxic chemotherapy, surgery, radiation. So it was, trying to think, like, diagnosed in November, chemotherapy through April, surgery in May, and then radiation after that.
So for those listening that don't know, what does chemotherapy look like? Is it pill form? Is that where you go in and you're hooked up to some IVs for a few hours? What is...
Yeah, so the chemotherapy I had at that time was, you go in, I went into Sanford is where I doctor, and yep, they hook you up to machines like the first, it's IV infusions. The first chemo that I had, the nurses come in with gowns on to protect themselves.
Oh, goodness.
And big glasses, and it's like, and they're injecting it into your veins.
Yep.
So it's like, Oh, okay.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
great.
So lots of side effects, obviously, from that.
How long did you have to sit in that chair then?
It was, I think the days, I mean, depending on, they'd give you pre-meds and stuff. It can be a 6-hour day, a 4-hour day. It just kind of depends on what kind of chemotherapy you're getting.
That's long.
Yeah.
Then surgeries, and then radiation. So what is radiation?
So radiation is where they go directly into your, like, wherever the site of the cancer is. And that is literally, like, if you think of an x-ray,
I was just going to ask.
kind
is
of
it
like an x-ray.
How long does that take?
Once you're in there and set up right, like, it only takes a couple minutes.
Okay.
But that experience too is like they set you up on a machine. Well, first, before radiation starts, they kind of map out the areas that they're going to radiate. And then they'll give you like tattoos. So like little blue dots, like I still have one.
Make sure you hit here
Yeah.
and here.
And so they'll line you up 3 different spots to kind of line up to make sure that they're getting the right location.
Right.
So then each time you go in, they put you on the table, line you up, and then they leave the room. And there's literally like a metal door that's like, I don't know, 2 feet
Yeah.
or a couple inches, 12 inches thick.
Yep.
So
But they get behind so
That
they're
they-
not getting exposed.
yes, yeah, yep,
I think a lot of people have had x-rays before where they like put the blanket on what part you're not getting x-rayed and then they
Right.
run out, take the picture, come back in.
yep,
But I suppose if you're doing that multiple times a day, every day,
Yeah.
it makes sense that they got to protect themselves.
right.
So how did you have to go in every day for the chemo?
Chemotherapy was the first rounds that I had 2 different types of chemotherapy. So the first one was every 2 weeks, I believe it was, and then for 4 rounds, and then every week for 12 rounds was the second type of chemotherapy I had. So
And then how often was the radiation?
radiation was every day, Monday through Friday for 3 weeks.
Goodness.
Yeah. The longest part was like driving there and
Yeah,
waiting
scheduling
for
your
your
entire
appointment.
day around that
Right.
for 3 weeks.
Right. Yeah.
Because I imagine that's not something you can just go back to work after, or is it?
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Probably not the most productive employee, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Just
It definitely,
mental, physical.
chemotherapy was probably harder than radiation on my body. Radiation, like towards the end, you like get burnt, like a sunburn. Blistering can happen. So that wasn't fun either.
No.
But yeah, the chemotherapy was harder on my body.
Well, I imagine intravenous
Yep.
poison, essentially.
Right.
So a little over a year, you said, and then you were cancer-free.
Yep.
And then how long were you able to stay cancer-free?
So it was about 5 years. So originally diagnosed in November of 2009. And then in 2015, August of 2015 is when my cancer returned.
Did you just go in for a checkup, or did you feel like another lump, or?
In that time frame, we had a gestational surrogate carry our baby for us. So my daughter was 4 months old at the time. And I was having a lot of pain, like in my hip, in my back. And I just, was like, oh, I'm carrying this baby, like, the little car seat and stuff around. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not getting the sleep. It's probably just that, like, newborn. This is all new to me. So I kind of chalked it up to that. I was doctoring with a chiropractor to try to help with that pain and stuff too. And it was a friend of mine that she was also had stage 4 cancer as well. And she's like, if you don't tell our doctor, like if you don't ask for a scan, I'm going to tell on you and make you get one. Cause I literally I couldn't lift my leg to like put my pants on in the morning. like to get into my car, I would like sit and then like lift my leg.
Oh, goodness.
So I found out that it had come back in my hip. So, when I had the scan, my doctor called me and he's like, yeah, there's definitely like cancer. The cancer is back in your hip. And, so that's why it's considered stage 4 at that point, is because it's past, like my initial was breast cancer, initial diagnosis. So, once it travels to a different part of your body, then it's considered stage 4. So
even if it's not, I don't want to say not super invasive, but is it just in your hip then?
Yep. It's just so it's most common to come back in like your bone, your hip or your spine is like the first place. And then like your organs, liver, lung, brain, those are other areas that with breast cancer, if it's going to come back, that's most
Where it's
likely. Yeah. If it's outside of your breast.
So you had your daughter surrogate because your fertility was affected. Are you comfortable sharing like a little bit about that experience? Like what led to that decision? How difficult, how wonderful was it?
Yeah. Yep. So after the chemo, surgery, radiation, I was on a drug for 5 years, like an oral med. I thought I was going to be on it for 5 years. And it was like, okay, we'll just get through those 5 years and then we'll move on with our life. Like, you know, at that point I thought, like I would be able to carry a baby on my own.
Yeah.
And then my oncologist, he made a comment that or there was new studies out that this drug should be taken for 10 years instead of 5 based on the severity of my cancer from the beginning. So at that point it was like, okay, like this changes everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's no longer wait 5 years and move on. So that was the point where we kind of decided like, what else can we do? That has always been a huge dream of mine to be a mom. So to have that taken from me was really hard. So I had a great friend that was like, kind of, here's the steps, here's what you need to do. Like, here's an attorney you can contact to help you with this, and kind of just advocated for me or really pushed me to do that. And of course, at that time, there was a lot of things going through my mind of like, what are people going to think? Like, how's this going to look? Like, even just dumb things of like, so I'm in the office one day and then the next day people are going to get an email that I had a baby. Like,
right.
That's going to be weird, and looking back now, it's like, obviously, who cares?
Who cares?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. But at the time, you're kind of like, everything's going through your mind.
Yeah.
And then there's a huge cost to it. So getting over the hurdles of like financially, how are we going to do this? And what if it doesn't work the first time and you're not guaranteed anything? And then there's the piece of like, who am I going to find to carry my baby?
Yeah. Do you want it to be someone you know and trust? Do you want it to be a stranger? Great. Because you don't want to blur those. There's really no boundaries.
Yeah.
You can try to set them if it's someone you know, but
right.
How do you make that decision?
Yeah.
Flip a coin?
Yeah.
I don't know. I have no idea.
Like going through your list and calling people like, hey, I haven't talked to you in a while. You want to carry my baby?
Or you're like, I knew her in college. Nope. Right. Like, it's not happening.
Exactly.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So from the time you and your husband decided, yep, we want to do a surrogate, to the time you got started, how much time was that? Like how much time went into the preparation and getting all the legal stuff figured out and then just come into the day?
So once we really decided like, okay, we're going to try this, like it honestly didn't take that long. Like It's crazy how everything aligned. Like I have faith in a higher power after so many of my experiences because of
just how things are working out.
Timing and like.
Would you say that you have like you maybe had like an extra team of people helping you move that through, or is the surrogacy process just kind of quicker? Because I know I've heard horror stories of like adoption where it takes years
Yeah. Yep.
to get kids into a home.
Yeah. So I researched a ton before we kind of made any decisions. I looked at the agency route for surrogacy, and it was hard to see like the amount of money that the agency kept versus it's like, if I'm going to ask somebody to do this for me, like
You'd rather
I
give
want
it
to
to
pay
them.
them and
Yeah.
not give more to the agency than, I
Yeah.
mean, yes, there's a lot of pieces to it and you need to have things lined up and know what you're doing and who you're asking to do this for you. But and it was that same thing of like, how do I even ask people? I don't want somebody to, come forward and do this just because they know me and just because, like, I don't want them to feel obligated
Right.
to do this or to, it's a huge ask of anyone. So my friend posted on Facebook. She kept my name anonymous. She just said, I have a friend who's looking to do this. She is looking for somebody that would like to do this. I had my list of like what I would want from a surrogate. Like, I would love for them to have done this before, to have their own kids. Their kids understand how this is going to work.
That's something I wouldn't think about if you have a family, like
Yeah.
what that. Yikes.
Yep. Yeah. So she shared one day on Facebook, and then she shared the following day saying like, I'm not going to give up until we find somebody. And I was sitting at work and she messaged me. She's like, we got a hit. And that is the person that ended up carrying for us. Just somebody here in the area.
Okay.
I wanted somebody somewhat local so we could be involved in the whole pregnancy.
Yeah.
I was wanting to have like an open relationship afterward because it didn't seem right to be like, thank you, goodbye.
Yeah.
So yeah, I met her for coffee. We talked for over 2 hours. Like we had known each other forever. We had all sorts of things in common.
Yeah.
And then we met as like our husbands met. We all four of us went out for supper. And from the day that my friend first posted until the day that my daughter was born was 1 year to the day. Exactly.
Oh, wow.
So just super crazy how fast it goes and how fast it can go, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
And all of the hard work that went into that process. I mean, they do like thorough psychology tests on all four of us, like husband, wives.
I meant you got to be pretty sound of sound mind and body to be involved in this.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you said you were your daughter was 4 months old when you got the diagnosis
Mm-hmm.
again, or that it was back.
Yeah.
Throughout the pregnancy, was that always kind of like this could be coming back, or just wasn't even really a thought in your mind?
Honestly, it kind of just felt like, okay, this is like, that's my cancer is behind me.
Mm-hmm.
Like I always thought that it could come back, or that it would come back, but I thought, maybe 20 years down the road.
Yeah.
So when we decided on our surrogate, we had talked openly to her about like carrying a second time for us because we've always wanted 2 kids. So with that stage 4 diagnosis, that kind of changed my views on things of like, can I really do this again? And just the statistics of stage 4 and what that would mean.
What that would mean, and then on your husband and daughter's side too, like if in the event that you are gone, they gotta do that without mom,
right? And just the how I was feeling at that time of stage 4, like physically feeling of like I can't even take care of myself. How am I going to take care of one, this 4-month-old, and if we were to do it again.
Yeah.
So
So how did you get the news the second time?
it was a phone call again from my oncologist. I was supposed to meet him in the office, and I had a work meeting, and I was like, I'll just...
At work again.
I canceled, and I was just like, I was like, I can't make it today, so, have an important meeting, and just kind of can't. I was like, you can just call me with the news, and he called me that evening. It was like 7:30 at night on a Wednesday night. It's like, this can't be good if my doctor's calling me right now. So, yeah.
So what was that like when you got that call the second time? It's here. You got a 4-month-old now.
Yeah. Yeah, that was, again, a super hard call. I am in a local support group, so I know other women that have stage 4 cancer, and I know the statistics, and I know I had been to a lot of funerals already for stage 4 friends. And so it was really hard to like look at my baby and look at my husband and wonder, like,
What's
how long
gonna
am I
happen?
going to be here?
But now we're going on 10 years strong.
Yeah.
10 years.
10.
That you never thought you were going to get.
Yep. Yeah.
We need another 40.
Yep.
At the very least, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So what is your treatment been for the past 10 years then? Do you think it's because treatment has gotten better or more targeted or?
Yeah. So cancer research, like that's where I am where I am because of cancer research. I'm still here because of cancer research. Right. And the kind of cancer that I have used to be the most aggressive. And because of the cancer research that they put into HER2 positive cancer, it's now they have all sorts of tools in their toolbox to treat HER2 positive cancer because of it. So
okay.
I am still on my first line of defense, which means the drugs that I started 10 years ago, they're still working, which is not common. A lot of times, like I have friends who have tried 10 different drugs over a span of 10 years with stage 4 cancer. Like cancer is so smart and can like outsmart our bodies and the drugs. So then you have to try something different. So yeah, my cancer, I go in every 3 weeks to the Roger Ramirez, the Sanford Cancer Center, for infusions. And I'm there for a couple hours. I get 2 different drugs by infusion. And they're each 30 minutes plus.
Not that bad.
Yeah. Yep.
And you don't work in the corporate world anymore.
Right.
You're able to get away from that. So that has to be a massive release. We were talking off camera. Your husband got an opportunity to go to a different job, which allowed you to step away from that role. Do you miss that at all?
No, I don't. I miss seeing the coworkers and the friends. Like I miss that camaraderie of like just being, hearing about everybody's day, or hearing about, and I know like when I worked there, I would sometimes get annoyed, like hearing people like talk about their weekend or, it's like, come on, let's just get to work. But now I'm like, I miss it. Like I just miss, like I run into people now and I almost like tear up because I'm like, oh, it was so cool. But, when COVID happened, we all went virtual or, work from home. So that changed a lot of dynamics of it anyway. So then it, working from home was just different. And yeah, it was a good change for me.
What did cancer treatment look like during COVID? Right, because COVID changed the game for everybody and everything that we did.
Right.
And I imagine what it did to actual facilities where sick people were going into was drastic.
for me, it didn't change a whole lot. I mean, it was those first weeks and stuff. It was scary to go into the cancer center, but for the most part, I don't even think I had even a week lapse of treatment.
Were there different like protocols at the facilities?
Yeah. Like now you can bring in friends and you can, for a while there, it was like you have to come by yourself and you have to obviously mask up and.
That had to be, it's a word I'm looking for. Just like community and socializing and involving yourself with others is what helps make, those bad days better and can help in healing. So having to take that away because of COVID, I can only imagine that it was a pretty somber room that you were going into every time.
Right. Yeah. I know a lot of people have friends with at every appointment but I honestly like going by myself. And I mean, you have your own room many times. Like it's just a curtain room versus a door, but I just use that time for like writing and just like resting, being quiet. The nurses at this Sanford Roger Maris Cancer Center are just amazing. Like I always love catching up with them, and obviously they all know me at this point.
Right.
Like, so it's definitely, I've come to really like look forward to my appointments.
What do you, aside from the nurses, what else stands out about the Edith Center?
They have a great like integrative program. So like I know they have like art projects that you can do while you're at chemo. I see a counselor there, and that's made a huge difference. Like for the longest time, I like just didn't make the time for that. Mm-hmm. And once I did, like, I'm like, yep, I needed this. Like, this is important part of my journey to talk to somebody who can help me through it. Our family did a cancer class. It was like for families going through cancer, any kind of cancer. So the kids would kind of go in their own room and talk with a child life specialist, and then the parents would be in another room talking with counselors. And it was just a great way to like open up the conversation with our kids of like how this impacts the entire family.
So they're not just supportive of you, it's everyone that's involved.
Right.
Like what a way to really not just take care of the cancer, but the overall person.
Yes. Yep.
I'm not sure how it works. I don't have cancer. I have some family members that had it, but I wasn't involved in their treatment by any means. So do you get to pick where you go to get treatment?
Yep.
Why did you pick them?
I picked Roger Maris just because of the standout, like what they're known for, and
makes sense.
Just the cancer center that they are. I also treat at Mayo, so I have a doctor there that I just go every 6 months, and then my doctor here in Fargo is super open to that. Like they'll have conversations, or every time I see him, he asks me like, when do you go to Mayo next? And so that's really nice that they work so well.
Good.
Yeah.
So now we're on 10 years of you still having it. Is it, you said you're still in the first line of defense. It hasn't gotten worse. It's just stayed stagnant the way that it is. Has it decreased at all?
Yes, it's gotten better.
Ooh.
So yeah, when I first was diagnosed, my doctor, the word he used was impressive. He's like, that it's impressive. Like when he showed me the image of my hip, he's like, that's impressive. I'm like, no, that's not impressive. There's a hole in my hip bone. Like that is not impressive. But he's like, sorry, that's the terms we use. Like, but I was scheduled for a total hip replacement at Mayo. And, so my daughter, this was like a couple months after I was diagnosed. She was like 6 months old. So we were going to take a trip to Mayo. We rented an Airbnb. My parents were going to come with to help. And I they wanted to do a scan before, because at that point, I had gotten 3 of these infusions of this first line of defense that I'm on now. So they wanted to see how that worked, like if it was doing what it was supposed to. And the doctor called me, or I was at an appointment, I guess. And they came in and they're like, it's like the hole is like fixed. Like it's like, we don't,
So you didn't have to go through with the hip replacement.
Right. Yeah. They're like, I'm like, so does this mean I don't have to have surgery tomorrow? They're like, well, we're still trying to get a hold of the surgeon, but that's what it's looking like. So yeah, just amazing. So now I'm considered no evidence of active disease. Like they'll never say I'm cancer free. They consider it like no evidence of active disease.
Why is it not cancer free?
Because once you're stage 4, they know that it's like outside of a contained area. So, but like every scan that I have and have had since then, like once in a while they'll be like, oh, we see something that it looks like there might be something in your lungs, but it also could just be,
right,
a virus or a...
Well, that's really good news.
Yeah.
That's phenomenal.
Yes.
Yeah. That's really good. I mean, that kind of sucks that you can't say cancer free, but I understand.
Right.
Kind of always got to be aware, on your toes about it.
Yeah. 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 It's definitely, as my daughter gets older, it's hard to like explain it to her too, because she's like, well, you do go in and get these infusions every 3 weeks.
But do you want to take the risk of stopping it because everything's going well and then it comes back?
Right. Right.
No.
Yeah.
I would imagine.
And that is an option. Like there's a study out there right now of like the Mayo presented me with that possibility of like, hey, do you want to stop it and be in this trial? Yeah. Yep.
Are you thinking, if I can ask,
for now I'm like, no,
play it
like
safe?
I don't, like I don't have symptoms right now, like major symptoms from the chemotherapy or from the infusion. So it's targeted infusion. So like the first time around, I lost my hair, had a lot of nauseousness and stuff. And now with this treatment, I have very few side effects.
That's
so
really good news.
Yeah. Yep.
All good things.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I was hoping this wasn't going to take like a negative turn, but it's super positive.
Right.
So obviously this has been a good portion of your life. And we've already talked a little bit about how it's affected you, but you have a pretty good rap sheet of things that you're doing now in light of what you've gone through. So tell us more about what you do now. You left the corporate life, what you're involved in, things like that.
Yeah. Well, since day one of not day one, but while I was still getting chemotherapy the first time, I learned of a cancer group here in Fargo called FM Breast Friends. So I am active in that support group. I had a huge support with family and friends. So like even, I was kind of like, oh, do I try out this support group? Like, are they really going to be able to help me? But being in a room with other people who have experienced exactly what you have or have walked similar paths, like there's so much power in that. And I'm so grateful for the friendships I've made with that support group. Right now, we meet every other month. We do what we call like survivor socials. So we'll just, one time we'll do like yoga nidra. Another time we might do like, this month we do a special for October. We do a special like just get together and, just kind of celebrate Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
How big is that group?
Oh gosh, I want to say we have like over 400 in our like private Facebook group.
Oh wow.
And then for the Survivor Social this month, we have like 45 women coming.
So the Facebook group is FM Breast Friends?
Yep,
okay.
Support group.
How far out is the reach? Like, is that only people in Fargo-Moorhead or surrounding areas as well?
Yeah, we usually keep it like to this area. Obviously like northern Minnesota, or, you know, if we hear of somebody that is within close to Fargo-Moorhead,
Okay.
we can offer support to them as well.
Okay.
The support, like even the Facebook group is really nice because like everyone is so open in the group. Like you can post if you're having a hard day or if you have a question about that your doctors aren't helping you with, or just different things. Like
There's such power in being able to tell your story than someone going, girl, I get it.
yes,
Like just knowing you're not alone in whatever
Exactly.
asset it is. And I can only imagine going through breast cancer, how just terrifying that is.
Yep. Yeah. I know when I got that stage 4 call, I hung up. I don't even know if I told my husband. I'm sure I told my husband first. And then I called my friend who she was 2 years out with stage 4 cancer. Like I called her and was like, yep, it's stage 4.
Yeah.
And just to have that person that
Like lifeline.
understands. Yeah. Super powerful.
You don't get anywhere without support. There's like a common theme in a lot of these podcasts that I've done, and everyone says the same thing. You don't get where you are without that lifeline.
Yeah. Yeah. And it can be hard. Like, you don't want to ask for help. You don't want to, like, it's hard to be vulnerable. It's hard to admit when you're struggling.
You don't want to feel like a burden to
Yeah.
other people.
Yep. That's one thing that I'm working on right now is a course, virtual course to kind of help people through that because, and it's not just cancer. It's like any hard times that we go through. A lot of times people will say like, oh, have faith, like be grateful, you know, just have hope, it'll work out. And when you're in those dark places, that's really hard to do.
Yeah, you want to tell them to go pound sand.
Yeah.
You're like, hope isn't going to get rid of cancer.
Exactly. Yeah. So the method that I have used is to remember that the alphabet starts with ABC. And so A is to like acknowledge your reality, what you're going through. B is to be still and process in your own way. And then C is community, to reach out to those people. And I mean, that can be my community. Like there's so many arms to my community.
Yeah.
Like I mentioned, Sanford, the counselor, like I still see her once a month, and every month I walk away with like
Something new.
yeah, some resource that I can take forward.
So we've got the board member of FM Breast Friends. It's like a tongue twister right there. And then you have your own website, and that is JanellMeier.com. How do
Yep.
you spell that, though?
Janell, Janell, Meier is MEIER.com. JanellMeier.com. Yep.
So what is it that you're doing with the website?
Yeah, so I have a blog post, or I post like once a month. And then I send a newsletter out. So if people want to go onto my website, they can get added in to hear what I'm up to, and to hear, like, get an email when I have a new post. I published a book in the last year relating to my cancer. And then I also have created what I call Brave and Beautiful boxes. So this is an opportunity for people. Like, I got so many questions from people of like, I know someone that was just diagnosed. What's something that I could get for them? Like, what's a good gift, or what do you think they could use? So I kind of came up with like a box of, it includes my book, and then it includes, I have these really cool mugs that, like, when you pour hot water or coffee into them, they like change from black to like a sunset or a rainbow beach.
Something
Picture.
small and simple to make somebody's day.
Yeah. Yeah. And like kind of my whole theme is like finding glimmers of beauty even through the hard times.
Because you need to.
Yep. Yeah. And just with the coffee mug, I think of like, I am just picturing people like pouring their cup of coffee and seeing this image change, and just like taking a deep breath and, you know, being grateful, or just remembering that they have people supporting them.
Yeah.
And,
Grounding themselves for a minute.
mm-hmm.
And then you have you're working on the virtual course, which is the ABC method.
Yep.
So what, just explain, you kind of did a little bit about the method, but just a little bit more about it.
Yeah, so I gave a keynote speech last year at the Sanford Women's Conference. It was for any women with breast cancer, and that's when I kind of came up with this ABC method. And so from there, I was like, I should really make this into like a virtual course to help people. They can just kind of work through it at their own time and their own speed. So I'm working on that right now. So I will have like a free like 20-minute masterclass just kind of explaining that method, and then just kind of more information about the virtual course. So hoping to get that out in the next couple weeks.
You've been a busy gal.
Yeah.
Did you feel like you kind of had a calling for this stuff? Or is it just something that you thought, well, I'm just going to do it, and then it took off from there?
So when I was first diagnosed, I kept like a blog for my family and friends because I wanted, I have big family, like my extended family is really big. And I was just envisioning like telephone, like one person calling another and another and another and trying to relay the facts.
It's factual information, not rumors.
Right. So from day one of my diagnosis, I started writing, and that was a huge way for me to, just to stay in contact with family and friends, but it was very therapeutic for me. Like I remember waking up the day I was going to go meet the surgeon for the first time, like I had gotten the call, and then it was, a couple weeks later, it was when I could see a doctor, and just that fear. Like I woke up that morning and just started typing, and so many times since then, like all of a sudden, like I write something and I'm like, whoa, I didn't know I was thinking that, like it's just my hands typed faster than I could like even think it.
Yeah.
Like at the subconscious level. So it's been really cool to do that.
As far as like the virtual course that you're doing, how did that idea start?
I think just like as I've done each of these things, it just kind of like gives me, like I've always been a creative person. So to be able to like help others, like even with FM Breast Friends, going back to them, like I knew once I got into that community, I knew I wanted to stay to like help the next person behind me. It's just something that I've just realized like there were people there to help me, and now it's my turn to help others.
Yeah. Pay it forward in a way.
Right. Yeah. And I've always just been big on like personal development and learning. So like I'm also a certified life coach, and I became certified just because I wanted to like learn more for myself. Like once I learned about this framework, I was like, I need to learn more. And so I didn't even like at the time think I would use it for coaching. But it's something in my toolbox that I use now to help others and to, I'm also an active Stephen minister at my church. So I can support people one-on-one through emotional and spiritual support. That's something that I just in the last year have gotten involved in as well.
Well, I have a feeling cancer's not going to come back because you're too busy moving.
Yeah.
Right? Can't get you.
I hope so.
That's amazing.
Sometimes, I mean, there's definitely that, like, what society tells us we're supposed to be. That's definitely been hard for me because it's like, the financial stability of like a corporate career. Like
when you say what society tells us what we're supposed to be, what do you mean?
I mean, like sometimes it feels like I'm just a mom, or I'm, like I'm not.
You mean like women in general, not just a cancer survivor?
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Everybody, women, men. Like if you're not productive, like are you part of society? Like there's that underlying message sometime of like, and that's something really hard for any cancer patient or anybody dealing with any major hard time in their life, like, you know, or you look at people who are ready to retire, like how big that is because their work has become such an identity of who they are. To try to like walk away from that can be really hard. So I definitely went through a lot of that, and it comes up still often, you know, in conversations you hear people like, you know, oh, she's not working, and it's like, yeah, neither am I.
Doesn't mean she's less than.
Right. So
It's an interesting point to bring up that I assume you go over in whether you're doing the life coaching. I imagine that topic comes up in the support group quite a bit. I imagine that comes up in the counseling sessions with Sanford. That's a good point to bring up.
Yeah.
Like there's just so many concepts that you don't realize when you don't have cancer or you've never gone through anything like that. Like you don't know until you're in the thick of it. So
right.
With that being said, what do you wish people understood about cancer and people going through it?
I think I don't know. I feel like that's a really big question. I think it's important to support people going through cancer, and understand that like it's their journey to walk, and it's like they get to decide how much they want to share or if they want to share. And if they don't like return a call, or if they don't take it personally, like obviously there's a lot of layers to it. A big part of my course too, or a part of the theme there, is like there's so much support for cancer patients when they're in the thick of it, but then all of a sudden like, you celebrate that they're like done with cancer, and
Then it's just done.
yeah,
But the mess is still there.
it's still there.
Yeah.
And it's always going to be there.
Yeah.
Like there's always fear of reoccurrence. There's your reality has shifted, like your life goals, like what was maybe important to you before isn't as important anymore. Personal values. It's a lot to work through. And when you're in the fight or flight mode of like cancer treatment, you don't really have the opportunity to work through all that. And it can be months and years later when that stuff kind of starts coming up.
That makes sense. That makes total sense, right? Like I'm just focusing on surviving while you have all this support. It's overwhelming. You can't really process it.
Yep.
Then it's gone, and then it's like, okay, now I got to sit in my thoughts and my feelings about this.
Right.
Even though it's gone.
Yep.
That still happened.
Yeah. And then people see you and they're like, oh, you look so good. Like that's behind you. And
you're like, I'm crumbling
like,
on
they
the
don't
inside.
know.
Thanks.
Yes, exactly.
So what might be some reasons, and obviously you're not speaking for anyone who's ever had cancer, just maybe you personally or a couple people that you know, what might be some like telltale signs that someone is like distancing themselves on purpose so that they know not to take it personally, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Like,
because I think there's, and I can't speak for everyone who doesn't have cancer and is trying to support somebody, but you know, when you giving somebody space, there's a fine line between respecting what they need and then understanding that no, that person needs somebody to help intervene before they do something drastic.
yeah.
Right. So do you think that there are any, like, what's that line? Are there any signs? You know what I don't know how to ask it.
That's a good question. That's a good question. I had to navigate that with a good friend of mine who, you know, one of those strong people that never asks for help.
Yep.
And because I was such a close friend with her, it was like, no, I'm coming over. Like, you know, I know your garage code, I'm coming in.
Yeah.
Like that sort of thing. But it's that level of like friendship that you have. You have to be careful of, obviously. Like, and when I was first going through it, like I didn't want anybody to help. Like I didn't want, like, so I guess continuing to reach out. For me, when I was first diagnosed, having that like blog was super helpful because people could comment on there and then I could reply when I felt healthy and, felt strong enough to like, and I could see those comments and know, reply with a heart or something like that. So, even just sending a text and like, I'm thinking of you today, like and a lot of times I'll just say like, don't feel like you have to reply. I just wanted you to know, like, I'm thinking of you.
Because even those go such a long way. Such a long way.
Yep.
Because I feel like you can be a person that is trying to distance yourself, right? You don't want to feel like a burden or you're having a really bad day, whatever it is. And someone might text you and, thinking of you today and like simultaneously, right? Two opposing thoughts can be present at the same time where like you don't want anyone to help you, but at the same time you're sitting there like screaming to yourself, like I need somebody right now.
Right.
But like you don't want to put what you're going through on them.
Yeah. Yeah. It's hard when like supporting someone with cancer. Like there's times when it's like harder to support somebody than it is to go through it yourself because it's such a helpless feeling.
Yeah.
Like you don't know what to do.
And if the person that's going through cancer can't communicate well what they're going through or what they need, like you just have this massive gap of understanding and communication. And as anybody in any world knows, that's pretty much the recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
So
that is actually one of the reasons like I wrote my book. So it is like a book of poems and it's broken down into like I have three different sections. So life is hard, life is beautiful, life is hard and beautiful.
Okay.
And so we like, may you realize that like they can coexist. And I kind of just start out with it like life is hard because that is like people don't know, I want people to pick up this book and be like, oh, she gets it. Like she understands. Like one of the first poems I have in here is like, I know and I learned. Like just like okay, like she understands, she gets it. Like and it's not necessarily just cancer, but like obviously this is kind of my journey with cancer and in a universal way.
Yeah.
So, and then I also included like my own photographs in here. So,
just what your perspective and viewpoint was during all the time.
Like finding those little glimmers of beauty.
Where can people get that book?
My website, janellmeier.com.
Is that the only place that they can get it?
It's also on Amazon, but
perfect.
Like, yep.
It's better if it goes through the website.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good deal. Yeah. Is it only physical copies or is it like on?
Yeah. Right now it's just physical copies.
With being someone who's going through cancer, what advice would you have to other people going through it to reach out? Right. So I asked what you thought would be for people that are trying to support someone with cancer. So how can those people reach out to people? Like how can they show others that they need support?
Yeah. I think, again, back to like my ABC method, like acknowledging first, like what you're going through and taking that time just to be like, okay, this is how I'm feeling. Like, this is like, it's okay to have these feelings. Like I want people to realize like, yeah, it sucks. Cancer sucks. Like I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to say like, I'm grateful I had cancer. I've learned so much from cancer. Like being able to like acknowledge that it's okay to have those feelings. And then just reaching out to somebody who you feel like can be that support for you. With community, it can be hard because oftentimes the friends that we want to show up can't show up in the way that we want.
Yeah.
So there's definitely been conversations in our support group of that too, of like, our best friends or the people who we thought would be there for us can't. And to not take that personally can be really hard.
So hard.
Yeah.
Like that's devastating.
Yeah.
When you're in the thick of just in your feelings and you need that person and they can't. Like,
Yep.
that just makes it worse.
Yeah.
You just start sinking.
Yeah.
But it's a reality.
Right. And that's why like our support group, like these are women that show up to these events every other month that are on the other side of those hard times, and we're there for each other in ways that, even if we are going through hard times ourselves, like we can sit with that and, like acknowledge that that's, this is really hard.
Right.
But we have each other. And I mean, obviously, outside of the support group, there's lots of people, in a lot of people's lives who can be that person. So I would say just reach out to different people who you trust and that you feel safe with. And then if they can't show up in the way that you need them to, like just accept that. And
right. How should they go about reaching out, right? Because not everybody is well versed on like the best communication practices, right? So if I got a friend who's really down, but I don't know that, and they text me, "Hey, what's up?" And the conversation just stays casual.
Yeah.
And then you're upset because you didn't get what you needed from me. Well, I didn't know. All you said was, "Hey, what's up?"
Yeah.
And the conversation was just, "What'd you do today?"
Right.
So maybe if that person's feeling down, they go, "Hey, what's up? I'm having a really bad time.
Right.
Do you have a minute?"
I think one thing that I've used and some of my friends is like, we'll just text each other and be like, "I'm in a funk."
Yeah.
Like
Code word.
Yep. And like in a funk just kind of sits a little better than like I'm depressed or I've been crying all day or like
Yeah.
it's just easier to say, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
All right. So we were just talking off camera here. You brought up a point that I guess I never really would have thought of. That's that October being Breast Cancer Awareness Month can be quote unquote triggering for some people, especially that are like actively going through treatments. So what is it? What does that mean? Like, what is it that's, I don't want to ask this and have you talk about it in a way that like negates what people are going through, but there is like a hard reality of the kind of that it can be a joke to some people.
Right. Yeah. I think there's just that, when you go into a store and you see all of a sudden like everything turned pink in October, like you see the pink ribbons on your bananas and your, toilet paper, or it's on the alcohol, like it's everywhere. And corporations can sometimes use that pink ribbon in ways where they'll say like, a portion of our proceeds go to breast cancer awareness. So it's not clear, like, where are they donating?
Right.
How much are they donating? Like, are they donating a penny for every, pack of toilet paper that you buy?
Yeah.
Are they just using that towards marketing materials? Like, or is it actually going to research? Is it actually going to like local community or breast cancer patients?
Right. Because you had mentioned that the cancer research is why you've been able to stay around as long as you have.
Right. Yep. And the importance of like supporting people going through cancer, like Edith Sanford and the Sanford Clinic, like to be able to, offer a chair and offer all the resources that they do. Like that's a great way to support people in our community.
Yeah, we want the money that we raise in what we do to stay local, not like with the valve caps, we don't use any proceeds to help cover the cost of those caps. That's just kind of a part of the donation. Everything goes to the Cancer Center.
That's amazing. So
Here
when
in
someone
Fargo.
buys that pack,
It's that $4 is going directly to
every single dollar is going.
Yep.
Every single. That's amazing.
And then Travis will, when he thinks of it, he's been phenomenal working with Sam, but he sent like a video update one day, and then he showed the chair that we were able to get, because being able to see what your efforts provided is really nice.
Right.
Not like a gloating thing. It's just nice to go, okay, this is what we were able to do. Not like look what we did, but this is how we helped.
Yep. Exactly.
And not like a showboating, like the videos of homeless people and then like giving them $20 or whatever so you can put it online. Like that's not what it's about.
Right. Right.
This is what we were actually able to do locally in the area.
You can like see the impact that you directly made.
Yes.
Yep.
Some people want to know, and I don't think that's a bad thing.
Right.
So I get what you're saying of where is the money going and how much is actually going to like those large corporations. What's a percentage? What's the percentage or what proceeds?
Mm-hmm.
Is it a penny for toilet paper, or is it 20% of overall sales, or is it 0.5% of gross profit?
Exactly.
Like, how much is actually going? Because I can see what you mean by it's just kind of like a joke.
Yeah. And it's interesting to like when you do start digging into some of those different corporations or different messages, it's like, oh, okay. Back to your question on like triggers and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, there's definitely kind of, for some people, it can be triggering because they don't want to have to share their story, or they don't want to like, it's not easy to get to that point of like being grateful. Like, and I'll always say like, I'm not grateful for cancer, but, sometimes October can be that trigger for people of like, it's can be, about the pink or about the just different
it's like
ads that are out there.
It takes the focus away from you as people going through something that's going to take your life one day and make it this pink breasts everywhere.
Right.
Like just completely take the meaning out of it.
Yeah. Yep.
I get it.
Yep.
So jumping back into your book, Life is Beautiful, Life is Hard. Most of what you've been able to do is from your cancer. But is that book and is that virtual training and coaching that you offer for just cancer patients?
It is not just for cancer patients. It's for anyone going through a hard time. Obviously, there's like, I mentioned cancer in the book, but I feel like it's universal. Like we all are dealing with our own hard times, right? Like my hard time happens to be cancer. Like that's where I've had to do the most healing and growing, but everyone I feel like is going through something.
Yeah.
And I've gotten, feedback on people who have read my book that are, that share with me different pieces of their life that it has helped them with. So it's really cool to see like kind of that ripple effect of like who is impacted by it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you hope to achieve with everything that you're doing besides just helping people?
Yeah.
Right? Because that's kind of a blanket statement, and a lot of people say that.
Right.
So is there like a specific goal that you have?
Maybe like 5 years ago, I was sitting at a personal development conference and I just had it on my heart. I wrote down, I want to serve and inspire others to heal and grow. And I didn't know what that meant. It was just like, write something from your heart. And that's what came out. And I'm like, I don't know what this means, but it's kind of become like my North Star.
Your why? My
why. It's just something that like, it shows up in different ways, I guess. Like, how can I help somebody through their season, or how can I help somebody in different ways, like, and just having that trust of like not really knowing what I'm going to do next.
Yeah.
You know, we've kind of talked about like the creative side and like all the thoughts going through our head of like, you know, like I come up with all these grand ideas and implementing them is another thing.
Yep.
But it's really cool to see like the different things that I've done and how they've come about and how some of them stick. And, you know, like publishing this book, like, you know, that was on my heart for a long time. And it's like, how am I going to do this? Like, how do you publish a book? Like, how do you write a book? And then just kind of, you know, trusting the timing of things. And just once it did work out, it was like, okay, yeah, that was, you know, once I kind of stopped trying so hard,
Yeah.
it kind of came about. So
That's probably one of the biggest lessons I'm learning this year about timing is that things will work out when they're supposed to, the way that they're supposed to, even if it's not what you originally wanted.
Right. It's hard to like have that faith, right? That like
one of the hardest parts of this year.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
But you don't need lessons on that. So Travis Christopher, one of the things that he had mentioned about what they do is, or not necessarily what they do, but a concept that doesn't really get thought about is that you'll never know. We were talking to him about metrics, I think, and like who they reach out to, like he was able to throw numbers at us. This is who we've been able to help. These are the communities that we serve. This is the amount of people that have went through our doors. But he said the biggest impact that we make, we'll never know about. And that's true, right? If you're a company that does pink valve caps, if you're somebody who is a life coach, if you have a book, even if that's your purpose to heal and to serve, you're not the best ones. Like the exact goal that you have, the exact purpose that you feel you're on this earth for, you may not ever know that you achieved it.
Right.
Because the difference on buying a chair that makes somebody comfortable for the first time at the cancer center could have been $200, like a few more packets of the valve caps. Yeah. And it's just kind of a cool concept. But I think kind of where I was kind of going with this was we also talked about how do you get things done when Travis was on. And it's just going out and doing it, right? Don't care about what other people think or if it's going to do what you want it to do, just do it. And with communication, there's kind of like a saying, if you have something that needs to be talked about, you need to communicate that 7 different ways, 7 different times. So I feel like you are on the right track with everything different that you've done and that you continue to do. I imagine that you still have more goals, right? We've got the book out. We got the virtual coaching. I can only imagine the type of support that you're able to, as like a guiding light to the people that go through the cancer center because you've been there for so long. Probably got a frequent flyer miles card at this point.
Yep.
And then the support group. So I feel like just based off what you've told me, and I didn't meet you until today, a couple emails back and forth, but I feel like you're doing it and you probably don't know about the people that you've impacted already and you probably never will. Yeah. But you just got to keep having faith.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Thanks.
I don't necessarily have any more questions. I love your story.
Thank you.
This is I definitely have some things I'm going to take back from this one.
Yeah. It's been really fun. I appreciate your openness and just you're a great host.
Thank you.
You did a great job at
I told you
all the questions.
You're going to be so comfortable. It's not a weird interrogation like people think it is. Then maybe what's one last thing you want to say, whether it's about cancer, the healing journey, what you're doing, what you want people to know about you or your family?
I think I would just like to add that like anyone that's going through a hard time, like just remember to take a tiny action step, something tiny one day, like texting a friend and just saying I'm in a funk. Like maybe it's going for a 10-minute walk when you don't feel like getting off the couch. Any tiny step like can move us forward and can really help with those hard times too.
Absolutely. I agree wholeheartedly. All right. Thank you so much for being on.
Yes, thank you.